Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead with the Tea Bright. Now, I want to tell you right off the bat, I really appreciate your patience with me and my lack of videos. I really did hurt my hip badly. And today has been the first day in a week, all this week, that I have been able to actually load and run my dishwasher without help, feed and water the chickens. And it took me 45 minutes to get out there and feed and water the chickens and get back in the house. So I'm moving slow, but I am moving. But let me tell you something about getting old. It's a constant lesson in adaptation, isn't it? Because it took me editing my videos to notice how I hurt my hip, because I pushed myself past the point of pain, and I just kept going, pulling the weed, like cleaning that bed, separating the garlic and planting the garlic took me over an hour. So I was almost an hour bent over at the hips planting. And the only time I stood up, I'd stand up for a minute, was when the pain got so bad in my lower back. So, and then I watched myself transplanting the plants and rolling on that thick hardwood chair on my right hip over and over and over again. So no wonder, right? But here's the thing. Getting old is a lesson in adaptation. I mean, look, we used to have an in-ground garden until I couldn't in-ground garden anymore, right? So we got raised beds. Now I have raised beds. I found out I can't just stand there and plant an entire bed bent at the hip. But I have a handy-dandy little garden stool. It flips over. It can be a kneeler, which I can't do because my knees will not allow me to kneel on anything. But it also flips up, and it's a seat, and the seat is level with my raised beds. So I have learned that when I'm bending over at the hip, don't spread my feet wide apart. That's really, really hard on the hips. Keep your feet shoulder width apart and make sure you straighten up often enough that you're not pushing things past the point of recovery, which is where I did what I did to myself, right? So my new adaptation is going to be leaving my stool out in the garden so that I can, like, leaving it like in the greenhouse or next to the greenhouse, so that I can plant, so when I can sit down and plant each bed. So there's that. I also learned that my left foot knows how to do the twist, because I realized that getting up, I'm used to, at the risk of sounding undignified, I'm used to spreading my knees apart and putting my hands on my thighs and rolling forward to get up. I can't do that anymore. My knees have to be shoulder width apart. This is the lesson I have learned, that if I don't want to be crippled, I have to learn now how to get up and down relearn how to get up and down out of a chair. Relearn how to bend, right? Because my back's not, and hips aren't going to let me bend like that, neither are my knees. So guess what? I have to sit. That's it. That's all, no more. But just because I came up against a brick wall doesn't mean I haven't found a way around it, right? If we gave up every time something became too difficult for us to do, we would never do anything at all, right? This is my lesson. And I have to be kinder to myself. So today is the first day. For the last 2 days were the worst. Howie's been doing, unloading and loading the dishwasher when he gets home from work. He's brought home supper 2 days in a row because I couldn't cook. I couldn't stand to cook, right? And I have been going, I've been getting up with him in the morning because that seemed to be the best time of day when the pain was at its least. But I still had to use the walker to make his breakfast and lunch, right? And he's been looking after the chickens, feeding and watering the chickens as well. So today, like yesterday, I fed and watered the chickens, and I took my walker out and I showed you guys, the chickens and stuff. Looks like we're going to get some rain. Today was the first day I've been able to do any of my own chores. I'll tell you, it took me 40 minutes to get out there and feed and water my chickens, but I did it. It took me 40 minutes going out and doing it and coming back in. That took me 40 minutes. It took me several hours to load the dishwasher. Howie unloaded it last night. I loaded it today. It took me several hours because of the bending and the loading. So as I, if I feel a little zing in my back, I would go sit down. But I mean, go sit down and check my email or something, right? But I got the dishwasher loaded and running, right? It's only spaghetti tonight, but I got spaghetti sauce in the crock pot and a pot of water on for noodles. When you suffer chronic pain, it's so easy to give up. It's too easy to give up. Like everyone's saying, for God's sakes, rest. It's like, okay, I'll rest, but I can only rest so much before the rest becomes habitual. The problem is if you continue to rest too long, things aren't going to get better. They're going to degrade. So I fed and watered my chickens today. I loaded the dishwasher and ran it. I got spaghetti sauce going in the crock pot. I got a pot of water on the stove. And I used the walker, the stationary walker. Here's my stationary walker, my good old friend. I used the stationary walker to anchor on the floor as I stepped in and out of the tub so I could have a shower. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, just looking after my personal needs for 2 days was really, really difficult. So I learned, but you know what else I learned? My left foot can do the twist. When I realized, I had an aha moment when I stood up and my feet were past shoulder width apart, and I went to pull my right leg in, and my groin and my hip went, no! Right? So my left foot, I don't know how you could describe it, but my left foot did this little, come on, baby, and twisted its way over to get closer to my right foot. So I learned, how not to damage my hip further. It's been a learning experience. It really has. But I appreciate your patience. There's things coming up, and I'm sorry I don't mean to talk so much about my hip, but it was a scary couple of days. It was actually, I'm not afraid to admit that it was a scary couple of days when I didn't think I was going to be able to heal at all. So I'm learning to adapt so that this hopefully won't happen again. Now, I have been approached by 2 companies to do product previews. One is a sustainable company that does reusable items. And that's all I'm going to say at the moment. And the other one is a company asking me to preview some kitchen stuff. Like I think one's a stand mixer and one's a vacuum sealer. And as we know, my Seal-A-Meal has finally died. And my Sun Life vacuum sealer is garbage. It didn't last very long. So vacuum sealing has become a problem. So I would really like to review. I don't really need a stand mixer, but I will preview it, and if it works great, then you know, it can be a wedding gift or something, right? But I have emailed them back. This is why I'm not saying exactly what's going on yet, but I have emailed them back and said, I would love to do these previews, but here are my terms, right? It takes time and energy for me to do a preview. And I want to make sure that my YouTube family, my subscriber base gets a chance to win what I'm previewing. So I would really like to preview your items, but I would like you to do a giveaway of the items I'm previewing and a coupon code of no less than 15% for those who don't win if they want to try these products. Right? I said, that's how I do it. Let me know if that's acceptable, because I don't just want to do preview products anymore. Right? I was nice to preview the barbecue, but you know how he did that, and it's going with us to the track, because he can go for a raid. He can go get the charcoal going, and he did buy some solid fuel cubes. He can get the charcoal going, and then he can go race. By the time he comes back, he's ready to throw this, it's ready to put stuff on the grill. So that's kind of cool. But they also, showed me other things that they wanted me to preview, London Sunshine. And one of them is, I'm hoping, an air fryer. So there may be some more product previews coming up, but know that I do ask first, if they will do a giveaway as well, because it's only fair to you guys, right? Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. I'm still, keeping the walker handy. I'm hoping that tonight, it looks like it's going to rain, but I'm hoping that tonight Howie will, before my little house live and after supper, if he will turn over my 3 beds in the garlic row so that I can get my leeks and onions planted tomorrow. I think I have to start getting things into the ground. So if I do, that'll be a video. And I'll show you my new adapted way of planting stuff. But the garlic beds look amazing. And my tomato plants are so much happier. But my cabbages want in the ground. They want in the ground. So do the peppers. So, but I haven't, I'm hoping to get a load of garden soil from Jimmy Carroll on this weekend. But he said, how much do you want? I said, $100 worth. He said, okay. He said, if I can get to it. Thing is he's got to be able to drive into the field to load the truck. And if the fields are too wet, he can't get to them. Right? So we'll see. We'll see. But yes, gardening season is on the approach. We may have some previews to do. But I'm still on the mend, and it's going to take me some time just to get my tomorrow I'm going to be sweeping and vacuuming, and that's going to take me all day, because I'm going to have to frequent rest periods. And when you're vacuuming, I have to learn how to vacuum all over again because of the way my hip is now. So, adaptation is the rule of chronic pain and aging. This is the Mrs. Volpe from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, I love you guys. Thanks for your patience. Hopefully there'll be some videos coming right smartly. Take care. God bless.